Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. Happy Father's Day to every single daddy out there. And I'm proud to say it, for the very first time I joined the club, guys. I joined the club and yes, I'm a daddy too, so celebrating my first Father's Day. In today's video, guys, we're actually gonna discuss about the Irontwins Fortress. I'm gonna show you a non-whale team. So a team that only uses one legendary champion, and that is Mitrala, a champion that you can get for free from Hydra. It might take you a bit of time if you're free to play to get a champion and you started the game recently, but eventually you're gonna get Mitrala, and honestly, she's one of the best champions in the entire game. Now, I do want to mention a couple of things when we are talking about the team, guys. Yes, we are using Geomancer. I wish that Plarium would design the boss in such a way that more champions will be as effective. And if they're not doing it, I'm just hoping that they're gonna bring in more champions like Geomancer and just make a guaranteed on it so more people can put their hands on a champion that can do the job, basically, right? Geomancer is super powerful on this dungeon, and it's all about the mechanics. Like, I wish I would bring you different champions like enemy max HP or different things like that, but honestly, those teams are not very consistent. They don't have a 100% win rate, and mainly because you're activating the passive on the boss all the time, and that boss can go crazy. Now, I know not a lot of you guys like to farm the Irontwins Fortress, and I completely agree with you. The rewards are not great. You're not getting much value out of it, and the whole problem is that it uses energy, and you don't have unlimited amount of energy, right? So that makes quite a bit of a difference. But every Sunday, I would strongly suggest you make sure you guys are purchasing the keys as well. Purchase these keys too, and do all your 12 keys every Sunday, because it gives double the rewards. So this is the best day to farm it, and I hope that Plarium will consider in buffing the rewards, and even if they're not necessarily giving us soul stones from here or consistently increasing all the drop rates, just give us on every single day the same rewards that you are giving us on Sunday, and double the ones from Sunday too. That would be a decent buff, and that would make more people interested in farming this dungeon, because on Sundays, roughly, if you have a decent luck, you're gonna be able to get enough soul coins to purchase 3 to 4 soul stones, you know? You might get super lucky and purchase 4. If not, you're gonna get 3 soul stones, and you might get a bit of essence. But leaving all that on the side, you see, my best time on stage 15 is 52 seconds. Now, I'm quickly gonna show you the team. This is not my main account, by the way. On my main account, I'm using a proper whale team, and I'm gonna show you the difference as well. I'm gonna show you the run that I'm doing with my whale team, with Chris, Duchess, with Acrizia, and all the crazy champions that we have available, and comparing it with this. So the team that we are running here is Mitrala, Geomancer, Godseeker and Eerie. We have Skytouch Shaman, and of course we have Aox the Rememberer. Let's actually go in and do a quick fight. Yes, you will have to use some decent gear on your champions. We are talking about one of the most endgame content that we have in the game, and that is the Irontwins Fortress. We have the Sand Devil's Necropolis. These two are the hardest dungeons that we have in the game, and you will need to have pretty decent gear, you know, like, it is a non-well team in terms of champions, but in terms of gear, you still need to have some decent gear. So it's not gonna be just like that. You're gonna put in some uncommon gear that you got 2 weeks ago when you started playing the game and you're able to do it. That's not the case. So basically, how this team works. You see, we don't have decreased speed. And the whole idea here is we're gonna get our move. We're gonna put the HP burn on the boss. We're gonna use our buffs every now and then. But we want that boss to take as many turns as possible. The more turns he takes while we are with the HP burn on him, the faster we're gonna kill him. And you see how quick we're dropping the HP. Now, the whole problem is the passive on the boss, right? Removes all the debuffs when his HP drops below these specific amounts, and this can be pretty annoying, right? Like, it's definitely a thing that can go wrong with most of the teams if you don't have a well-built team. Now, we're not gonna have to worry about it whatsoever. We're gonna try to avoid on having too many War Master on our champions and stuff like that, just to don't activate the passive from a War Master proc or from a poison or maybe from a HP burn tick, because that's gonna trigger it and it's gonna cleanse, you know. The best thing with Geomancer is that, boof, that HP burn is just completely going to melt, you know, like you've seen it right here, 1 minute and 39 seconds. Geomancer 4.3 million damage, which is just crazy. But the team was at 0 danger. Let's actually do another run. So you're gonna be able to see it a bit better in action, basically. Godseeker and Iri, man, is such a powerful champion. I'm just loving it. Aox the Rememberer is in here to increase the duration of debuffs when his passive procs, basically, when it drops in. And then slowly, we're gonna try to keep all those debuffs on the boss. And we're hoping that the boss is not gonna activate the passive and cleanse. Right here, what happened, either a poison tick procced it, either the HP burn tick proc the passive, and he cleansed it. If he's gonna pass the amount of HP needed to trigger the passive just by getting damaged by Geomancer's passive, he's not gonna trigger it, you know. But if something else deals the amount of damage and drops him under the specific amount of HP required to trigger the passive, he's gonna trigger it, you know. But here we are. You see the team is almost on full HP, like Godseeker and Iri, Skytouch Shaman, so much healing. We have Mithrala in here with a bit of shield, we have the increased defense, we have the cleanse, and of course strengthen, but the main thing is that we're cleansing that Skytouch Shaman, because you know her passive is a bit wonky. Whenever she's taking turns, things can go wrong. So we're making sure that everything is spot on. And from here on, nothing can go wrong. We dropped under 40% HP on the boss. He cannot cleanse anymore, and my team is literally on full HP non-stop, guys. So that's the team right there again. Geomancer 4.1 million damage. Let me quickly show you the builds on the champions. Then I'm gonna go to my main account and I'm gonna show you the team that I'm using there, and you're gonna see that it's pretty much almost the same time, and the gear is a bit crazier as well on my main account. So here we are. Recently used first. This is Mithrala. We have a speed set, 2 perceptions. So in terms of total stats, we have 59k HP, 3.1k defense. Nothing like 100k HP, 4k defense and stuff like that. 296 speed. Yes, we do have quite a bit of speed because we are mainly using her in arena as well, just to come in and drop a bit of a cleanse. I'm not pushing this account to the very high end of arena, so I'm not stressing so much about her stats. 361 resistance, 367 accuracy. You guys know how her passive works. But basically, speed-wise, as long as you are over 250, 260 speed with your champions against the versus the boss, you're gonna be fine. The boss has 250 speed. You want to make sure you are faster than that. You don't need to reach all this speed. Then, of course, we have Godseeker and Iri. She is on a regeneration and a speed set. She is pretty fast though, so that's kind of like what I'm saying. You're not able to just use uncommon gear. Like, you need to have one triple roll on speed somewhere, or have double on all the pieces and have a few glyphs around. 65k HP, 4k defense, 291 speed. No resistance or anything else, you know. And again, you can drop the speed quite a bit on the champion. I'm quickly gonna show you the masteries on Godseeker and Iri, then we're gonna go to Mithrala because I forgot to show you the masteries for her. So we have defense and support 3. You don't wanna have War Master on too many champions, guys, because that will trigger the passive even more often on the boss. As tier 6, we have Elixir of Life, of course. It's nothing wrong if you're gonna get Timely Intervention, because you're just gonna rotate a bit faster with the turn meter that you're getting from there. Let me show you the masteries on Mithrala. So I do have War Master on her because she's being used in Hydra, but basically these are the masteries for Mithrala. We have Lasting Gifts, we have Master Hexer, we have a Cycle of Magic, and yeah, War Master on her just to help a bit around for other content. When we are talking about Skytouch Shaman, for example, she is on an Immortal set and a Speed set as well. Pretty similar in stats with Godseeker and Iri, for example. 76k HP, 3k defense, 287 speed. And again, you can lower the speeds a bit on the team. It's not a problem, at least on these 3 champions. The other 2, they're already too slow, so you don't want to get them slower than that. But these first 3 champions that I'm showing you, you can definitely lower their speeds a bit. So in terms of masteries for her, guys, we have a defense support 3. I haven't finished the masteries on my Skratch shaman, seems like it, but I would take Cycle of Revenge, and again I would go down with Lasting Gifts, and I would go down to Timely Intervention. So that will allow her to rotate more, a bit faster as well, and kind of like keep in sync with Mitrala and keep in sync with Godseeker Aniri, you know, and constantly kind of like still staying in the same order basically. Of course, every single one of the champions are fully booked. The next one that we have on the list, guys, is gonna be Aox the Rememberer. Now, Aox is actually on Stalwart. If you have Defiant, it's gonna do just fine. And total stats on him, we have 66k HP, 3.7k defense, 224 speed, 450 accuracy. Keep in mind, we have Mitrala as lead, so that gives us extra accuracy. You do need to have over 500 accuracy if you want to debuff the Irontwins boss on stage 15. Masteries for Aox, defense and support 3. We have Eagle Eye as tier 6 to gain more accuracy, Arcane Celerity, Retribution, Sniper just to increase the chance to land the debuffs, and of course Master Hexer. And the last champion that we have in this team, guys, is gonna be no one else but freaking Geomancer, the OP champion that wrecks bosses. He is on a regeneration set and a perception. Now, the reason why I don't have him on Reflex here is if Geomancer dies, his passive becomes useless, right? Like, his passive is not gonna do nothing with him dead. So we want to make sure Geomancer is alive all the time. So we might lose a champion at some point if something goes extremely wrong, but it's not Geomancer. So as long as it's not Geomancer and Geomancer is there to deal the damage, we're gonna be absolutely fine. So that's why he is on a regeneration and a perception set. Total stats, 49k HP, 2.6k defense, 256 speed, and 559 accuracy. A bit of an overkill on the accuracy, but hey, considering that we have the lead as well, you can easily drop almost 100 accuracy on him if you're keeping Mitrala lead, you know. And of course, Eagle Eye as tier 6 when we are talking about the masteries, Cycle of Magic. If you have a couple of refresh accessories for him, that's gonna be absolutely fine. That's the team, guys. How I mentioned, make sure you are farming this dungeon on Sundays because you're getting the biggest value for your buck, basically. Now, let me quickly show you the team that I have on my main account, just to kind of like have a bit of an idea of how a whale team performs versus a non-whale team. Right, so check this out. Irontwins Fortress, stage 15, my main account. My best time here is 58 seconds. I think on the other one was 56 seconds. The team that I'm using here is Siphi, Duchess, Krisk, Acrisia, and I'm using Geomancer. Now, the stats on some of these champions are pretty crazy compared to what you've seen before. This is my Acrisia, so this is a relentless build. Pretty crazy stats on her. The thing is, I do have War Master on quite a few champions, so that might mess me up. I haven't really stressed so much in terms of changing everything just specifically for this dungeon, because that means that my champions will underperform in other content, not outperform. Hell no. But this is my Geomancer, so I do have pretty similar stats like with the other one, just much slower here. Then we have Krisk. So these are the stats on Krisk. He's not as fast, so these champions are not as fast here, but that's because I have all this freaking tankiness, you know, and the Iron Twin is just not gonna kill my Duchess here. Like, she is pretty slow, but at 900 plus resistance with the she's not gonna get debuffed unless she's getting 3%, and it's just not gonna kill her. But let's actually do a quick run. We can put the speed lead instead of the resistance one. You know why? Because I'm not using that resistance Siphi anymore. I used to have a resistance Siphi, and I just decided to empower her in the end, and I fed my other one. So now I have only one Siphi basically. But here we go. Let's crack on it. We've put a speed lead, so Everybody's is a bit faster now. You see, the shield is already making the boss to take the turn before me, regardless how much speed I have on my champion. So I'm not so stressed about it. It happens all the time when you're using Krisk, honestly. So it's not a very big deal. Okay. I do have my Geomancer here in a reflex though. You see, that's the problem with the enemy max HP nukers. So regardless of which one of them you're using, you're constantly gonna cleanse the boss. And when you're gonna do that, what's gonna happen is that once you drop the boss under 50% HP and he starts using this skill as well, man, it's just so powerful. It deals so much damage. It's just a bit too extreme, you know. It's just too much, and you're getting wrecked basically if you don't have like the craziest champions to tank for your team to keep you alive, basically, you know. Extra turn, Acrisia. Are we proccing the passive? Not just yet. But we're about to do it now. Right after we place the HP button. That's why it's good to have a reflex Geomancer here. Now I don't really stress much about the time, right? Like I'm clicking play. I'm purchasing the keys on my main account every single day, right? So I'm doing 12 fights every single day, and it's been like this since day one. It's not great because it's not really rewarding, but I'm not really purchasing that many soul stones. I am purchasing sometimes, but not that often. And yeah, the whole idea is that I don't care about the time. So if it takes 1 to 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. Like I'm doing something in the background while this is getting done, basically. And it's not the best run. Like we've been pretty unlucky with the RNG on the passive. Like we always cleanse the boss straight after we put the HP button, so we had to wait 1 or 2 turns after. But 1 minute and 58 seconds. So what I wanted to point out is that look at this team, look at the other team, and look at the time. So this one is slower than the other one, and it has all these crazy champions. In terms of gear, stats are definitely much crazier than the other ones. And yeah, we had Krisk dying in here. Nobody died in the other team, for example. But guys, that was all for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful if you are looking to start farming the Irontwins Fortress. Of course, the team that I showed you on the other account, if you're lowering the stats on them, you're going to be able to farm lower stages. So if you're not looking to farm stage 15 and you have all those champions available, with weaker gear, you should be able to farm different stages. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.